I'm Jeremy Gates, Managing Director of Gaia Construction. Today we're going to talk about solar panels. Are you interested in solar panels? Is there anything more you'd like to know about solar panels? I'd like to introduce you to Adam Major. Adam, thank you for joining us today. Adam's the National Sales Director of the GreenPower Company. They're Renewable Energy Experts. I guess the first question people always ask, Adam, is how much does the average solar system cost?
Depends on size, basically. There's a lower limit that you want to go to. I mean, our average size residential install is about 5 kilowatts. So you'd be looking at a basic starting price of about $6,500 after the government rebate. And then anything up from there to a point, obviously, depending on what gear is being installed. Battery readiness will obviously add to the price, but it all comes down to the brands that are being installed. So, everyone should have solar. Everyone will benefit through solar. The brands that are installed and the size of the system, that's something that we can recommend. But it's at the end of the day, that's for the client to decide with some guidance from us.
Yeah. How many people will the average 4 kilowatt or 5 kilowatt system?
Look, it probably fits into that space of your average sort of household. So 4 to 6 people, around that, $400 or $500 bill. It's going to make a big offset in their power bills and their electricity overheads.
So if you've got a smaller family, 3.5 kilowatt system, or would you put as many panels as you can on your roof?
Look, I mean, it depends what we're trying to achieve. I mean, our belief is as much as your roof and budget can allow for. But look, we can size systems up, on the smaller side to offset daytime usage and keep it around, a 3.5 kilowatt system. I mean, if you're consuming the majority of the power that sort of a system generates, at today's electricity prices, you're going to be saving about $1,000 to $1,200 a year potentially.
So what's the average payback period on a standard system?
Okay, a well-sized solar system against your daytime usage, say, you should have your money back within about the 5-year mark, give or take. If you're looking at a more premium type system, maybe it adds another year or so to that payback proposition. But about 5 years, you should have your money back.
So 5 to 7 years generally?
Yeah, comfortably within that sort of a time frame.
With an upgraded system, do you generate more power as well, or does it last longer?
So a more premium type system? So when I say more premium, I guess I'm talking about the efficiency of the panels. Where they're made and who's making them obviously comes into play too. So your warranty protection on that back end side of things. If you're looking at a more efficient panel, you're taking advantage of your roof space, you're getting more power out of your roof. So roof space limitations, you might be forced to look at a more powerful panel. Rather than scaling it back to a more middle of the road. But look, a good quality system, a middle of the road panel, and as a rule of thumb, a European made inverter, you'll end up with a system that'll last you, decades without too many issues.
I know there's 2 different kinds of inverters. Can you explain the difference, please?
Okay, so your standard inverter, little inverter on the wall. So you've got all the panels basically wired into that inverter, and the system operates potentially at a 2-string level. But if there is significant shade or comprehensive monitoring on that side of things is really important to you, you might want to go down the micro inverter path. Now, micro inverters are individual inverters that are bolted up on the roof and run each panel independent of each other. So again, if your rooftop's encompassing significant shade across the day, you might be forced, or it might be more beneficial to look at employing microinverters rather than a single string inverter. With using a string inverter with a shade on a panel or two, it's more than that panel or two's yields that are impacted. So it'll be the panels in that string that are potentially impacted. Whereas with microinverters, it's only panels that are shaded when they're in shade that would have their output reduced.
Is there any pluses or minuses if you want to go to batteries later in time between a microinverter and a string inverter?
There are some limitations in that space. Microinverters are generally an AC system, so there are limitations once batteries would be installed. You may not have power outage protection, whereas a string inverter you generally would. But that battery space is moving so quickly that systems are going now with batteries in mind. Things are going to be flipped on their head, so to speak, in the next few years with the product and technology that's coming out on the battery side.
So how long does the system last, and what sort of maintenance do we need on it?
Okay, you know, a good quality solar panel will last you decades. You know, it's the inverter that's key. The more budget range of inverters that are available out there, they're obviously not going to last anywhere near as long as the better quality inverters. But you know, a good quality European-made inverter, you should get 15 plus years out of it.
What's your best inverter brands?
Sure. Well, Fronius is a pretty common inverter that we install at the moment. They're an Austrian-made unit. The company's been around since 1945. Very good quality. They've got you know, some good options in that hybrid battery inverter space as well. After sales support is great. Tech support's great. They're based in Australia in Tullamarine, so pretty local to us. You know, 10-year factory warranties, which is kind of unheard of in the inverter space. Some other brands that we use are SMA. They're a German company. So Fronius SMA probably take up 80% of our traditional solar installs, and then you've got, you know, your budget range of inverters, which sometimes get requested.
But you wouldn't put those on that choice, or
that wouldn't be our recommendation. And in that microinverter or optimizer space, we use Enphase, which are American, very good quality, and SolarEdge.
Enphase is what you put on our house, just out of interest.
There we go.
They've been really good. Work really well.
Yeah, and the monitoring side of a microinverter system is a bit more sophisticated generally, as you've got generation information at the panel level rather than at the string or the system level. So some people like that aspect as well.
If you want to do system upgrades, increase your panels, change the inverters in the future, is that easy or difficult to do?
It's fairly straightforward. I mean, it's hard to predict what's going to happen in the future, but for new systems, we would cover, you know, every option. And it's about picking the right technology in the first instance. So you're not necessarily having to get rid of something that's operating perfectly well to make that upgrade. I mean, sometimes that's unavoidable, but you know, you want to leave your options open as far as you can with the technology, the capacities of things that are initially installed, whilst keeping efficiency in mind from day one.
And would you recommend installing batteries at the moment, or do the sun's not quite add up? Or I guess it depends what's important to you.
In my opinion, just, you know, trying to deal in fact. Batteries are a wonderful thing, and they will become mainstream. The better quality battery brands that I'd be happy to have installed, they're pricey. They're not cheap. So generally speaking, you need to have more of a driver than just looking at the dollars and cents. You need to be in an area where you have poor power quality and you're seeing outages more frequently than you're happy with. Or, you know, you're just sick and tired of the retailers or distributors for one reason or another. So if you're just purely looking at the dollars and cents, getting back to your payback period, around the 5-year mark for a traditional solar, for a good quality solar and battery setup that's well sized around your usage, you're about doubling that payback.
With solar panels, what should people look out for to make sure they're not getting ripped off? And there's a lot of bad press, or there is some bad press around at the moment. Where does this come from?
Again, getting back to the brands, you know, doing a bit of research on the brand side of things. There's some really good quality online forums as well that will give you information with, you know, the general public's experiences with solar manufacturers, solar brands, solar installers. We steer our clients to some of these forums. Whirlpool have a really good green tech forum that, you know, there's a lot of feedback, good and bad, on brands and companies, so that's a great place to start. Again, looking more into the company, talking about solar panels. If a solar panel brand is involved in large-scale utility type installations, thousands of panels installed in a field, you know, somebody's financed that. So there must be a level of bankability on that brand for, you know, money to be put up for those sort of projects. So that's a key point to look for as well.
Adam, thank you very much.
Pleasure.